So we are going to start in a child's pose. As always, anytime that it would serve you to take something else, please consider taking a different pose. Otherwise, come into child's pose at this moment. Let your knees go nice and wide. Let yourself sit back into the heels of your feet. Arms could lengthen forward, forehead down on the floor. We're just going to breathe deep in and out here in child's pose. Noticing how you're feeling, but also really checking in with your ego. Your ego can actually give you a really hard time. The dialogue can be negative with whatever pose you're experiencing and what you put on yourself for responsibility for how you feel. So I invite you throughout practice to really focus on positive physical feeling as you move on your mat. What positive feeling are you getting from each movement and from each posture that we will take and create through a flow this morning? From this pose or together, wherever you started, come on to the hands and knees and keep the hands, wrist, elbow, shoulders stacked. We'll uncurl the toes as we come up onto hands and knees if you did curl the toes, and keep your knees a little bit wider, just as if they were in child's pose. We're going to exhale and sit back into the heels of our feet. And then inhale, we're going to roll ourselves forward and lift our chin and chest over the shoulder. Exhale, all of our spine will round, our tailbone will gently tuck in. You may or may not get down to the heels with your backside, and that's okay. And we're just going to move here. Focus on your breath. Really create the connection of your breath with the movements. Have that be the sole thought going through the mind at this moment. And taking your time from there, 10 toes curling under, hip bones lifting, push back into downward facing dog, and bicycle out the feet here. Shake your head out. And we'll incorporate the concept of how we feel in this pose. So feeling and breath so present this morning. And from that, look forward and start to step your feet to the front of the space that you are in. Go ahead and bend the right knee and bring the hands over by your left ankle and shin. Just a soft, gentle twist as you are hinged and folded here. Breathe in and out. And switch, bending the left knee, walking the hands to the outside ankle of the right leg. It's soft, your hip can stick out a little bit. Come back forward right here And take yourself to your shin bones for halfway lift. Even if you use the floor usually, lengthen your spine here. Breathe in, breathe out, and fold. Come down to the floor. Head can be heavy, shake it out. Root through the 5 points of your foot, the corners in the center of the front of the foot, and rise up. Breathe in. Let's press our hips forward and reach the arms back. So now we're getting this really nice stretch and a micro back bend. Bring your hands to the heart. Breathe in and breathe out here. Arms will lift up, breath in. On the exhale, swan dive to the floor to forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. And as your hands come to the mat, step back and feel free to move through your first flow here. I'm going to demo that with the knees down on the floor. Relax the top of the feet. We're going to take 3 cobra here. Inhale into cobra. Exhale and come back down to the floor. Inhale into cobra pose. Exhaling back down to the floor. One more time, inhale. Curl the 10 toes under, push back to downward facing dog. Your head can be heavy here. Heel bones are sinking. Looking forward with the gaze, step the feet. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale and fold. Root through the corners of the feet and rise up, breath in. Hands will come to the heart, breath out. We'll take a few more rounds, inhaling, reaching up to the sky, breath in. Exhale and swan dive to the floor, forward fold, halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, feet stepping back. And moving through high and low plank. Inhale here. Exhale, downward dog. Look forward to step the feet. Halfway lift. Fold, exhale. Root to rise, inhale. Hands to the heart, exhale out. Once again, I'm going to let you take 2 more rounds on your own. So completely flow through from your downward dog and come back to the front of the mat. I'll meet you on round 2 in downward dog. Continue to breathe. Focus on your breath, syncing with the movements that you are taking. One more round of movement here. Someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. And once you've moved through your flow, we're meeting in downward facing dog and sitting back one more time into child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. You'll come up onto hands and knees. And curl the 10 toes. Push back to downward dog. Looking forward, feet will step. Halfway lift. Fold, exhale. Root to rise. Inhale. Hands to the heart, exhale out. Shake everything out. Go ahead and walk to the back space, the space that you are moving in for today's practice. We're going to use that to move through our flow. So taking your time from here, root into the four corners of the feet, reach the arms up. Sit back into chair pose. And then sometimes this is called power chair, reach the arms forward. Now fold to the floor, keep the legs as straight as you can, and walk the hands forward. Find your plank. Hold your plank, breath in. Lower yourself down to the ribs and chest. Lift the heart and chest. And push back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands by keeping the legs as straight as possible to the back of your mat. Back of your space. Find chair, power it up, and rise all the way up. Inhale. Root into the right leg, and take the left leg, lift the left knee into the air. Taking your time from here, you're going to kick the leg forward and step about halfway on your mat. Reach the arms forward, or airplane arms will be at your sides. Lengthen the right leg. Warrior three. You'll bring the right knee through. You'll kick the right leg forward and step. Now, as you step one more time into the right leg, left leg is going to lift. We're going to bend the left knee, bringing the heel to the glute, and play in dancer pose. Release, reach up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift on inhale. Take your time, wash the feet back, downward dog, and slowly walk the hands all the way to the back of your mat. Folding here, a lot of stretch for the back of our legs today. Halfway lift. As you fold completely, kneecaps bend, power up chair pose here. So in a way, we reverse the movements that we take. Rise up and slowly hinge at the hips to fold. Walk your hands out, keeping the legs straight. You'll move through high and low plank if you'd like. And we will meet in downward facing dog from there. And again, you'll walk your hands back. So a little bit of extra love here, folding. Bend the knees, power up your chair. Rise all the way up, reaching up to the sky. And hands will come to the heart. You'll take the right leg, lift the kneecap into the air, and slowly kick the foot forward and step about 1/3 of the way. And as you step about 1/3 of the way, you'll shift into warrior three. You'll come upright, left leg will lift. You'll kick the foot forward, step forward, left arm will lift, right heel will come to the glute, and you'll kick yourself into dancer pose right here. Breathe deep in and out. One more breath. in dancer pose. Release and fold. So we get a little bit of our balance in a way, out of the way. Halfway lift. As hands come to the floor, step the feet all the way to the back. Downward dog. Sink your heels. Look to the 10 toes and bear crawl the hands. Sink into the heels. Take your time. Root to rise and come into chair pose. Feet can be wide on this chair pose. Sitting back into the heels, heart and chest are lifted. Breathe in and breathe out here. Taking your time from there, bring the arms back, and you'll slowly lift the left leg. Coming up, kick the left foot forward, so it looks a lot like round one, and take a pretty generous step forward, a little bit more than our 1/3. Right heel bone will come to the floor. We'll shift the hips back and sink into pyramid pose next. Pyramid pose, our left leg is straight. The 2 hip bones are both squaring towards the floor here as we hinge. Head can be heavy. Breathe in and breathe out here. You'll bend into the left knee. Arms will lift up. This would be a smaller warrior 1 pose right here. Pivot on the right 5 toes and go ahead and lift the right knee to the ceiling. Taking your time from here, you're going to kick the foot forward and bring the knee in. Kick the foot forward and kneecap in, bending. One more time. And step the right foot down to the floor. Cartwheel the hands to the floor, standing split. It's one of my favorite poses. A great inversion. Left leg is lifted. I like to draw some circles with the ankle joint, just giving some attention to something that could maybe use a little bit of love. And when you're ready, you're going to bring your left foot to the floor. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale and fold. And taking your time from that, you'll step your feet back, sinking the heel bones, and walk the hands to the back of your mat. Feet are wide in our chair pose. Sit back into chair. Go ahead and come up right into mountain. Root into left leg. Right leg will lift. We're taking a little bit more generous step as we kick the foot forward and step. Left heel comes to the floor for pyramid pose. Push the hip bones back and sink into pyramid. You're feeling a really generous stretch in the back of the legs here. Go ahead and bend into your right knee, warrior 1 micro, while we're here. Arms will lift. You'll pivot on the left 5 toes. Left leg will lift. You might need to tap it out. I kind of had to take my time there. We're going to kick the foot forward and bring the knee in. 2 more rounds, kicking, knee in. 1 more time. And kneecap in. As the foot comes to the floor, You're going to slowly cartwheel to the floor and take standing splits next. Take your time. Right leg will sweep in, rooting through the four corners, fold, halfway lift. As your hands come to the mat, the feet will step back, downward facing dog, and you'll walk your hands to the back of your mat. We have a few more things to take care of. Fold here, halfway lift. A lot of balance today. Hopefully you have checked your ego at the door. How are we feeling physically? Rise up. We're holding our poses, and these poses aren't meant to necessarily create a shaking action or this high concentration where we clench into things. These poses are meant to really allow you to find a deepness in the yoga medicine, what yoga can do for you, stretching you, helping you get in touch. Sit back into chair pose. Feet can be wide. We're going to take our left arm and keep it forward facing, and the right arm is just going to reach to the back. You can gaze to the side or feel free to look over your right shoulder. Both of your palms will face the same direction you are facing. You're going to look forward. Arms lift up. You'll bend into the knees. Reach all the way up. Take the left leg to the sky. Kick forward and step. And as you step forward, right heel bone comes to the floor, hip bones push back. And you're going to take the right hand across your thigh. And as you twist here, you're just allowing your hips that nice turning action. One more big twist. You'll look forward and rise up. You'll take your time as left knee bends a little bit. Right leg will come forward. And as the right leg comes forward, you're going to take the left hand over your thigh and reach the right arm to the back, right here. So you are in a high standing twist right here. One more deep inhale. You'll look forward. Right foot will come to the floor, left foot will step in, reach up for mountain. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift. Bring your hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, walk your hands to the back of your mat once again. You'll take halfway lift from being at the back of your space and fold and reach up into chair pose. Feet are wide. Right hand will reach forward. Left hand either at your hip or reach it back. Watch the right knee here. Palms face the same direction you're looking. One more deep inhale. Look forward. Come all the way upright. Root into the left leg, pardon me, right leg lift. Kick the foot forward and step forward. So a pretty generous step. Left heel comes to the floor. We have revolved triangle. So it looks a lot like pyramid pose. The hip bones pull back. Left hand comes across the right shin. Right hand is either at your hip or reaching up as you revolve and twist. Be in the pose. One more deep inhale. Go ahead and untwist. Go ahead and come nice and upright here. Shoulders will roll back. You're going to pivot on the left foot. Bend into the right knee. Left knee will come up. And our last piece of our sequence. Right hand comes over our thigh. Left arm reaches back. Sometimes this pose looks a little easier, less complicated than it can be. Breathe in the twist. You have 2 more inhales and exhales. Go ahead and bring the left foot to the floor. Right foot will come forward and join. Reach up. Exhale and fold to the floor. Halfway lift. And as your hands come to the mat, step the feet back to downward dog. And again, sit back into child's pose here. Breathe a deep inhale here and a deep exhale. Go ahead and come up onto the hands and knees. And bring the knees right underneath each of your thighs. And shift into plank pose. You have 5 inhales and exhales in plank pose here. We're going to get a little bit into our core and then find a generous hip opener with half pigeon this morning. Two more inhales and 2 more exhales in plank pose. We are almost there. Round 1. Go ahead and bring your knees to the floor and bring your legs around. So our child's pose came and it went, and we're moving right into Navasana, boat pose. So oftentimes our knees pull apart on this pose. This pose is going to be dynamic. We're going to twist in this pose. So you can always keep your heels on the floor. More as we progress, the progression is to lift the feet, and then the next progression is to start to straighten the legs out. You're going to exhale and twist one direction. Inhale. And exhale and twist the other direction. We're going to take about 5 to 6 rounds right now. So choose the progression of boat pose you want to take and move into it. Exhale here at your home practice. Inhale and look forward. And just continue to move right and left. One more time, twisting here. Woo. Go ahead and bring the feet to the floor. Swing the knees around once again. Our next pose is dolphin pose. So our forearms are going to come down on the floor. Elbows are going to, without a prop or something, I just want you to really imagine that we aren't letting them go nice and wide. Because when we do that, I'm showing this just not even engaged at all. And on the floor here, but we let the shoulder girdle kind of go. So I want you to think as your two arms are on the floor, you're trying to pull the tissue, the skin, towards each other. So the forearms. So my arms are on the floor, and then I'm going to yank them towards each other. And it's a small movement, but when I do that movement, I'm starting to feel tissue fire, which is great, those muscle groups. The hands, the head does not touch the floor. The 10 toes curl under. Hamstring flexibility is definitely a component here. And we are in our dolphin pose. Now you could always take a forearm plank, you could full plank a second round here, but if you're looking for that little bit of extra progression today, we are playing in dolphin pose right now. So take your dolphin pose, breathe in and out in this pose. Sink the heels, walk them in towards you, be in this discomfort. At the same time, there's a lot of yoga doing the work for you, which is a really beautiful thing. Let's have 4 more breaths while we're in this pose. Really nice. One more inhale. One more exhale. And the bonus is we come down onto the mat and we take another child's pose. So the knees can go wide here. Let yourself just sink into child's pose. One more deep inhale and exhale. Taking your time, push back into downward facing dog. We haven't traditionally ran through a flow lately, but you are more than welcome to. We're going to move into half pigeon from here. So right leg, this could always be figure 4 on the back. Right leg lifts, knee comes behind wrist. Let the hips sink forward. Make sure you feel comfortable where you are at and let yourself sink into the pose. Two more inhales and exhales here. Now take your time, come up nice and tall into your two arms. Curl the left five toes. If you were on your back, hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit right and left. Downward dog from here. And again, just move through a flow if you would like. And we're going to take this on to our other side. Left leg will lift. Left knee will come behind left wrist. Shoulders will roll back. And you'll let yourself sit back into half pigeon. Make sure you feel really great in this pose, but let yourself just completely melt. Now take your time, come up nice and tall. Let your shoulders relax down. Curl the right thigh toes under. Push back to downward dog. Hug the knees into the chest. If you were on figure four on the back. Move through one more flow if you would like. Falcon pose was our inversion today. So after the flow, we're going to simply bring the legs around. We're going to take a little bit of time in some really great poses. Happy baby being the first one. So as we come down to the floor, the knees will come in towards the rib cage and you'll gently rock side to side. Hug the knees into the chest. Little rock right and left. And then bring all the limbs up to the air and shake everything out. This is going to be your wrist and your ankles. Pose is called dead bug. It's a great pose. Shake, 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 shake. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Just letting it go. Again. And let it go. One more time. Knees hug into chest. You'll go ahead and bring your feet to the floor. And you'll let your legs windshield wiper to the right and left. Now, for final relaxation today, feel free to take this however you'd like. I'm encouraging supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. So the heels of our feet together, the right hand on our heart and the left hand on your navel. And gaze can be up. And you'll just let everything go. Let your eyes close. Let yourself just be. This is the time to simply let it go. But focus on your breath and focus on how you are feeling. We're going to begin to just hug the knees in. And before we come off our back, let's go ahead and just bend the knees and bring the feet to the floor and let the legs windshield wiper again to each side. And then from there, we're going to hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to shake everything out again. Ankles and wrists, hands and feet. And then from that, we're going to breathe in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. And then one more time, a breath in and out and happy baby. From that, rock and roll. A lot happening, but that's okay. We're going to need an easy seated pose. Before you leave class today, I encourage you to stay for a little bit. I'd like to have just a short little public service announcement really quickly to you. But as we bring hands to heart, we will end this practice together, inhaling, exhale, namaste.